Hong Gongju is a teenage girl living somewhere in Korea. At the beginning of the film, she sits in front of a group of teachers and tells them about her passion for music and singing. As the adults listen carefully, she also claims her innocence. Yet the collective decide that it would be best if Gongju transfers to another school where she can start a new life. They do not reveal the reason she is being transferred. Gongju has no idea what she's going to do next, so a teacher, Lin Andu, volunteers to help her. He finds a reputed school for her in another town and stays with her throughout the moving process. After arriving in the new town, Gongju now has to look for accommodation. Her teacher suggests she stay with his mother, Miss Jo, who happens to be a local of the town. At first, she refuses to let a stranger stay at her house, but upon being pressed by her son, she allows Gongju to move in for only a week. The following day, Gongju goes to her new school. She is introduced to the class by her homeroom teacher. After school, she runs to a cyber cafe and looks for her mother's location on the internet. It turns out that Gongju's mother had left her and her father a long time ago. She currently lives with her new husband in the same town but has no clue her daughter has moved into the town as well. Gonggi's father is an alcoholic who doesn't care about her whereabouts. After the infrared trip to the cyber cafe, she returns to Mrs. Cho's convent store and helps her out with the customers. Because of her kindness, the old lady begins to like her. The following day at school, Gongju is walking down the hall when she peers through her classroom window and sees a small group of girls rehearsing an a cappella song. She loves to sing but is too socially anxious to work in groups. When she locks eyes with one of the girls in the group, she quickly runs away. Gongju then goes to her swimming class after coming to town. She has started to show interest in learning how to swim. After the class, Gongju is in the changing room humming to his song. The girl who saw her earlier in the school named Eun-hee happens to be the leader of the a cappella group, and Eun-hee hears her song and secretly records her. Later she approaches Gongju and tells her she would be great in the music team. In contrast to what Eun-hee had expected, Gongju is furious at her for invading her privacy. She refuses to join the music group and storms off. Following that, she goes to her mother's house. Having found where she lives, she is overjoyed to see her, but her mother doesn't reciprocate the emotion. After talking for a while, she is told that she cannot stay with her mother because of her stepfather. A heartbroken Gongju returns home after the encounter. The following day at school, Gongju notices that the music room is empty. She takes the opportunity to play the guitar and sing. While she is at it, when Eun-hee and her friends listen to her from outside the room, they are impressed by her singing, but she stops playing as soon as she sees them. She walks out while being followed by the entire group. They compliment her voice and ask her to play in the band, but Gongju walks away, ignoring them entirely. When she goes to Mrs. Cho's store, she sees a bunch of women harassing the old woman. She doesn't intervene and simply returns to her room. It has been a week since she moved into the house, so she has to leave the next day. She packs up her luggage, still unsure where she is about to go. Before leaving, she bids farewell to Miss Jo. To her surprise, the woman asked her to stay there as long as she wants. She has grown to prefer being with Gongju to being alone in the house. Starting that day, Gongju gets along with the girls at the school. They practice together every day and get along well. That is until one day one of the girls takes a video of Gongju. It angers her so much that she throws her phone away. The next day, Gongju teaches Lin and visits her. He tells her that all the boys who assaulted her have been arrested. Since the evidence is strong, their bail is almost impossible. Still, their parents are looking for her everywhere. One day at school, Gongju was told that the girl sent a video of her singing to a music label that wants to sign her. They had expected her to be happy about it, but in contrast, she asked them to never invade her privacy like that again. An enraged Gongju walks away while the girls are left confused. After school, Eun-hee tries to talk to her, but she dismisses her concerns. Eun-hee is patient and doesn't feel bad even when Gongju is rude to her. That night, Gongju goes to Eun-hee's house for a sleepover. While talking, she has asked if she has ever kissed a boy before. Weirdly enough, Gongju claims that she has kissed 43 men. Eun-hee thinks it is a joke and laughs it off. In reality, Gongju was assaulted by a group of 43 boys. That was the reason she was kicked out of the school and had to leave the town. That evening, she meets her father for dinner at a restaurant. He asks her to sign a paper, but doesn't disclose the contents of it. One day, Gongju is with her friends when they ask her about her dream in life. She claims that she wants to learn how to swim at least 25 meters. The girls just laugh at her. Later, she gets a call from Lee Nandu, who asks her how the meeting with her dad went. When she tells him about the paper she signed, Lee gets upset and tells her to never sign papers without knowing the contents. Upon reaching home, she calls her father, but he doesn't pick up. She realizes that she signed a petition for assaulters to be let free. Her father must have been bribed by the parents to make her sign them. When she goes to school the next day, she finds that her friends have posted a video of her singing on the internet. Gongju freaks out and yells at them to delete it. Having had enough of her rudeness, one of the girls says that everyone hates her and they only talk to her because of Eunhee. Following that, the girls are in a class when all of a sudden a group of people enter the classroom and gather around Gongju. It turns out they are the parents of the assaulters who wanted to sign some papers and let their sons out of the prison. They only stop harassing her when Eunhee brings the principal. Gongju runs to a dark room and cries alone. A flashback shows us that before all of this, she used to work at a convenience store in her hometown. The son of the owner of her classmate, Dong-yoon, used to be bullied by his classmates. One day he comes into the store with cuts and bruises and picks up snacks without paying for them. On looking outside, she sees that the guy is giving the snacks to his group of friends. The only friend Gongju has Hwaoke, who she adores. Hwaoke is also Dong-yoon's girlfriend. The two comes to Gongju's house frequently to hang out. When Gongju returns home that day, she sees Dong-yoon and his friends in the living room. Dong-yoon was bullied by them. To find a place for them to spend the night, even Hwaoke is with the group and she is clearly drunk. Gongju asks them to get out of her house instantly. They refuses to hear her first but pack up their things when she says her father is about to return home. On their way out, she also asks them to leave Dong-yoon alone from now onward. The leader of the group threatens to shut her up to assert his dominance. He uses a stapler on Dong-yoon's stomach. A scared Gongju calls the police and tells him her location, but one of the guys snatches the phone away from her. After that day, the guys continue to come her house frequently to party. Gongju feels hopeless because she can't do anything about it. At one of such parties, they mix a drug with a glass of alcohol and ask her to drink it. When she refuses, Dong-hyun insists that the boys will leave only after she drinks it. Not thinking much of it, she chugs it down. After she starts to feel the effects of the drug, they forcefully pin her down and abuse her in the worst ways. In the other room, they do the same to her friend Hwaoke. One of them shoots a video of her and uploads it to a website. After hours of torture, they only stop when Dong-yoon's father arrives at the house. Instead of informing the authorities, he simply stops his son from abusing one of the girls and takes him away. After the incident, Hwaoke jumps off a bridge and commits suicide. Gongju is devastated at her best friend's death and informs the police about everything that happened. Because of this, she was transferred to another school and she was made to leave the city for her own safety. Back in the prison, the school principal asked her what made the parents attack her, but Gongju says nothing. Miss Jo's boyfriend, who is also a policeman, comes to this school and brings her back home. After being explained the situation, he tells Miss Jo everything about Gongju's past and asks her to kick her out of the house because the parents might attack them for keeping her. Before they finish the conversation, Gongju comes downstairs with her luggage, ready to leave. Miss Jo's boyfriend stops her midway and hands her Dong-yoon's release papers. He claims that the guy was forced to assault her, so he should be left free. Even after suggesting to kick her out of the house, he wants her to do him a favor and sign the papers. Gongju understands this and inquires why she should be the one to run away when the others are the ones at fault. That night, Gongju stays at Asana and calls her father. When he doesn't pick up, she calls her teacher Lee Nandu, who informs her her father has taken the petition money and run away. The next morning, she boards a train. In the meantime, Eunhee and her group find the video of Gongju being assaulted on the internet. Unable to watch their friend beg for help, they shut the computer. They finally realize why Gongju was the way she was. Yoon-hee texts her to ask her where she is and to say that it is not her fault. In the last scene, Gongju jumps off a bridge into the river, but she is seen swimming away instead of drowning. In the background, Gongju was asked why she wants to learn swim so badly. She replies that she wants to start over in case she changes her mind, indicating that she was always planning to jump off a bridge and wanted to have an option of saving herself in case she changed her mind.